Yo, after the show.
Today's Yo After the Show is taking it back to Yo, Episode 2, Historic West End. Established in 1867, Historic West End in Atlanta, Georgia is one of my favorite communities in the city when it comes to telling stories as a film location scout, because you can literally tell over a century worth of stories while traveling on foot. When I drive around location scouting, I pay really close attention to street signs. And this street sign in historic West End, Whitehall Street, always made me curious. Why do they call this street Whitehall? I started to dig deep into the archives, and I landed on a shocking part of American history that I did not know. Because I believe that it's important to always know what was there, I'm going to share with you what I discovered. In the 1800s, much of the South was occupied by 5 Native American tribes: the Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Muscogee Creek, and Seminole. The Cherokee and Muscogee Creek tribes owned millions of acres of land in Georgia. Just focusing on the Muscogee Creek alone, over several decades, Georgia citizens tossed inflated financial claims against them to the tune of $350,000 for various things. That would be over $9 million today, a massive debt that the Muscogee Creek could not pay. In 1802, the U.S. federal government told the state of Georgia it would extinguish all Native American land titles within the state's borders. So much land that it became Mississippi and Alabama. In 1821, 4.3 million acres of newly acquired Muscogee Creek Native American land was forced out of hand by a treaty called the First Treaty of Indian Springs. It was placed into a Georgia land lottery and aggressively distributed to new settlers. The Georgia land lottery gave new settlers first dibs at the 4.3 million acres. So what they did was they put your name in a barrel, and if your name was pulled, you received one land lot, equivalent to 202.5 acres. But no fret, they did not get them for free. They paid a whopping $19 for them. By 1830, U.S. President Andrew Jackson signed the Indian Removal Act, eventually forcing Southern tribes off of their ancestral lands, pushing them into harsh conditions. And by 1831, after a series of forced land cessions, the modern Atlanta area was officially cleared of its indigenous Native American population. Now that I've painted the picture of how new Georgia settlers were acquiring land, you will understand why Charner Humphreys, a farmer from South Carolina, wanted in. He decided to take his farm money and buy a property that was being auctioned off. So he did not even have to pay the $19. And right at the corner of what is now Lee Street and Abernathy, he put a structure there, and it was called the Whitehall Tavern and Inn because it was the only structure with white paint. He strategically placed it right on top of the Muscogee Native American trade routes. And when travelers would follow the original routes, they passed his business to come for a meal, even sleep. And he made a fortune. The Whitehall era lasted 1835 to 1867 until prominent developers like real estate tycoon George Adair came into the area and renamed it West End, drawing inspiration from London's famous theater district. Today, historic Atlanta West End holds several titles. It was Atlanta's first streetcar suburb, the intersection of Lee and Abernathy, where Whitehall holds the title of being the oldest documented intersection in Atlanta. The Wren's Nest in West End was the first National Historic Landmark home in 1962. And lastly, Atlanta's historic West End is home to the world's oldest and largest historically Black college and university consortium.
Thanks for joining and hope you learned something today. Catch Yo After the Show, extended content that digs deeper into episodes from Yo Did You Know? Travelogue web series, following me, Jen Ferris, a seasoned film and TV location scout, unveiling history hidden in plain sight. Stay connected at YoDidYouKnowSeries.com.